Welcome to the Echoes of War, the podcast where we explore the emotional and psychological burdens that follow soldiers home. Today we're diving into Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carry, a collection of linked short stories about a platoon of American soldiers fighting in the Vietnam War. Our focus on Lieutenant Cross, a young soldier who's weighed down by the things he carries. In the beginning of the story, O'Brien continuously lists tangible items that the soldiers carry: rations, weapons, and photographs. But it's the emotional weight that lingers: guilt, fear, and responsibility. For Jimmy Cross, a young and inexperienced officer, he carries souvenirs that represent emotional burden, love, or perhaps, more accurately, the illusion of it. He carries letters from a girl named Martha, a college student back home. O'Brien writes, Lieutenant Cross kept to himself. He pictured Martha's smooth young face, thinking he loved her more than anything, more than his men. And now Ted Lavender was dead because he loved her so much and could not stop thinking about her. This moment is pivotal. Ted Lavender's death, sudden and senseless, becomes a psychological turning point for Cross. He blames himself, believing his distraction cost a life. This is where trauma takes root. According to the American Psychological Association, trauma stems from perceived loss of control during a life-threatening situation. Soldiers, especially those in leadership roles like Cross, are particularly vulnerable to survivor's guilt. The belief that one could have done more, even when events were out of their control. In a 2007 study published by the Journal of Traumatic Stress, researchers found out that combat veterans have high levels of guilt over wartime actions, were significantly more likely to develop PTSD. Cross's self-imposed guilt, even though irrational, becomes his emotional baggage. Unlike a rifle or a helmet, he can't set it down. O'Brien emphasizes this by describing how Cross burned Martha's letters and photographs after Lavender's death, vowing to be a stricter officer. He wouldn't shut down the daydreams. This was not Mount Sebastian. It was another world, where there was no pretty poems or midterm exams, and where men die because of careless and gross stupidity. This act of burning letters seems like a turning point, a release, but is it? Trauma doesn't disappear. It merely hides. Cross does not stop carrying Martha or Lavender. He stops talking about them. The emotional weight becomes internalized, part of what O'Brien calls the things the men carried inside. And therein, the strategy. These internal burdens became inescapable. Later on in the book, there arises another crisis that seemingly could have been averted: Kiowa's death. Kiowa undoubtedly was the most uncorrupted of the group, making the death of his this moral compass so symbolic. While scavenging through feces and mud, the whole platoon has nothing to do but reflect. For Jimmy Cross, he thinks about how he should have neglected the higher-ups' orders. In his head he mulls. He should have spotted the danger. He should have ordered the men to move. He shouldn't take blame for where they camped out. His orders came from people higher than him. Not only him, but his platoon blames him, feeling this constant internal battle on if he's a good enough leader. This is how trauma functions. It doesn't wait for logic. It festers in what-ifs and should-haves. According to the National Center of PTSD, survivors of traumatic events often experience moral injury, the feeling that one has violated their own ethical code. For soldiers, this can stem from killing, witnessing death, or like in Cross's case, feeling responsible for it. Psychologist Jonathan Shea, who coined in the term moral injury, explains that it's not about what happens to you in the war. It's about what war makes you feel you failed to do. Jim Cross feels the failure profoundly. In the field, O'Brien writes, he would not go beyond the simple fact of Kiowa's death. He would not let himself ponder the message or the moral. That's repression. That's trauma. Instead of processing the pain, Cross focuses on the practical. He writes a letter to Kiowa's father. He makes up details to soften the blow. It's not just an act of kindness. It's a desperate attempt to escape guilt. The guilt doesn't go away. The field remains. The memory seeks deeper into the mud. So what does Jimmy Cross really carry? He carries unspoken grief, unrealized love, the crushing weight of leadership. and the unrelenting memory of a soldier who died on his watch. It's about what we carry after the war, what we bury beneath our uniforms, beneath our skin. Thanks for joining me today. This is Echoes of War. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.